Number 5 here says write the equation of the circle in standard form. If the circle equation is not in standard form to begin with, we have to put it there. Now remembering what standard form is, and here's an example of it right here. You've got 2 sets of parentheses in standard form. We don't have any parentheses here. These 2 sets of parentheses are both complete squares. This is a completed square with all the x's. This is a completed square, in other words, something squared with all the y's. So what this says is I'm going to have to complete the square for the x's to get this. And I'm going to have to complete the square for the y's to get this. So I'm going to use completing the square twice. Now the way I like to start this is by basically starting right away, taking this equation and starting to put it in this form in a general sense, meaning putting all the x's together in the front and then putting all the y's together and then moving numbers over to the right. So like this. I'm going to collect all my x's together inside one set of parentheses. And inside that set of parentheses, I'm going to put plus and I'm going to put a blank because I'm going to have to complete the square. And that always involves adding a number. There's a plus in the middle. Then I've got y squared. I'm collecting my y's. Y squared plus 14y plus blank. I'm going to complete the squares for the y. Equals, I'm moving this 39 to the opposite side by subtracting 39 from both sides, so this is negative 39. Now since I added 2 blanks here, I'm going to add 2 blanks over here as well. If you can set this up correctly like this, it kind of almost does itself from there because it kind of tells you what you still need to do. All right, so I collected my x's inside parentheses with a blank for my completing the square. Collected my y's inside a set of parentheses with a blank so that I can complete the square, moved the number to the right, and added 2 blanks over here to balance out what I did over here. So half of negative 10 is negative 5, and I square that, and that's 25. That gets added to both sides. Remember, that's how we complete the square. We take half the b term, which is negative 10. When I do that, I get negative 5. And then we square it, meaning multiply negative 5 times itself, and you get 25. Same thing here. Half of 14 is 7. 7 squared is 49. Then I factor each of these. Another way of doing it, I mean, you're still factoring, but helpful hint, I guess you would say, is that whatever you get when you took half of b here is what you're going to get when you factor. X minus 5. Half of negative 10 is negative 5. Half of 14, 7. Over here I've got negative 39 plus 25 plus 49. That's negative 39 plus 74, which I believe is 25. Let me double check. Make sure I don't, no, it's 35. That would have been bad. I was getting excited thinking it might be a perfect square. Okay, so this is my standard form of the equation. That's it. That's what I wanted. We can move it over there. Ta-da. Okay. If you were asked, and sometimes you are, for the center and the radius from this equation, the center would be 5, negative 7, positive 5, negative 7. The radius would be the square root of 35. And since square root of 35 does not have any perfect squares as factors, that's it. You can't simplify it. So it would just be square root of 35. All right, number 6, use the information to write the general conic form of the conic form equation of the circle. Let me point out, general conic form is what you started with in number 5 here. In general conic form, you have your x squared and then your y squared. Basically, it's kind of like what the standard form we usually write quadratics in, where you write the squared part first and then the not squared and then the constant terms. Descending order of your exponents or of your powers of your degree. Well, your degree is the biggest power, so I don't know what I'm saying here. Sorry. So x squared and y squared come first, alphabetical order. Then plain x, meaning x to the first, and plain y, y to the first. And then you could think of this as like x to the 0, y to the 0. The constant term comes last, and it's always equal to 0. So that's the form we're being asked to put number 6 in. Squared terms in alphabetical order, first degree terms in the alphabetical order, and then the number equals 0. So hint, write in standard form first. That's easy here, because here's h, here's k, x plus 5 squared plus y minus 13 squared equals 36. Remember, if the radius is 6, then the radius squared is 36. And now, basically, all I have to do is FOIL or distribute, however you like to multiply out a binomial squared. Remember that you need to actually write it out. Why? Because a lot of times people want to look at this and say it's x squared plus 5 squared, and it is not. This is not equal to x squared plus 25. What it is equal to is x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25, which is x squared plus 10x plus 25. I used FOIL. We're going to do the same thing for the y terms. Y minus 13 times y minus 13. I'm going to use distributive property this time. Y times y is y squared, y times negative 13. Negative 13 times y, and negative 13 times negative 13. So this is y squared minus 26y plus 169. So that's what I have here. This is all this. Then there's a plus sign, so let me bring that down. All of this is y minus 13 squared. Right here, this is y minus 13 squared. And then equals 36. So now all that's left is for me to basically rearrange it into the right order. We want my x squared first, and then my y squared. We want any x to the first terms. Here's x plus 10x, and then any y to the first terms, minus 26y. Then I have 25 and 69. 25 and 69 is 194. But I have to move this number over to make it equal 0. So I'm going to collect 25 plus 169 and then minus 36 on both sides. And that's going to give me, I want to make sure I don't do this wrong in my head, so I'm going to take the time to type it in my calculator. 158 equals 0. And that is my generalized conic form. So that is the answer to number 6. X squared plus y squared plus 10x minus 26y plus 158 equals 0. And that's it.